The Kansas City Chiefs will be drafting 9th overall, which is the highest draft pick they've had since taking Patrick Mahomes 10th in 2017. They have been to more Super Bowls than they've had top 10 picks in the last 9 years. So what went wrong in 2025? Well, it's really easy to say that this offense, which is revolved around the play of Travis Kelce at tight end, saw a reduction in Travis Kelce's athleticism. I mean, he's aging out. That was problem number one. Problem number two was a lackluster wide receiver core, couldn't consistently win. You didn't have that guaranteed chain mover. You didn't have that alternate person in your receiving core to alleviate or take away some of that realization of degradation in your tight end inside wide receiver core. Rice was suspended. You had injuries. All these things happened. And not to mention very, very poor play from your running back. Now, that being said, the Chiefs aren't in a terrible spot from a personnel perspective. I mean, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Marquise Brown, they're all good wide receivers, right? They're not terrible. But this team has always focused on the tight end spot. So how do they make sure that 2025 doesn't come back in 2026? It's very simple. 2025 was just, you found out, hey, we won a lot of one-score games in 2024. We were living with borrowed time. Didn't happen in 2025. The ball wasn't rolling their way anymore. It was bound to happen eventually, and it reared its head here. B, you got to be able to get some extra talent on this team, which based on the salary cap situation is going to have to come from the draft. I don't think that there is a way to navigate the salary cap in their current situation to get them back on the positive side and still have money to sign a top tier free agent, right, that solves all their problems. It's just not going to happen. And C, you have to be very, very smart and very, very direct with what you're hoping to get out of the draft. Now, personally, I'm a big fan of trading back. Trading back in a situation where you're kind of salary constrained, you're trying to maximize a window, gives you an opportunity to get those key contributors in areas that you may not have been able to get in the bulk that you would have been able to get them if you hadn't traded back. So they have the 9th overall pick. I think trading back gets them a little extra draft capital in this class and finds those key cornerstone players that they're able to plug in and provide them with a better overall team. Now, the first part they have to do, though, before they can even get to the draft, is they have to rework Patrick Mahomes' deal. The guy is accounting for 25.8% of their salary cap. That is astronomical. The quarterback is getting a quarter of the salary cap. It's unheard of, especially in a team that has Super Bowl aspirations. I don't know how many times we've seen the metric where a team paying their quarterback, 15, 16, 17% of the salary cap very rarely results in a Super Bowl or a championship at all. It really takes a lot to overcome on the talent side of that because of how much money you've dedicated to one player. Even if it is the most important position in football, you still need at least 53 other guys on the roster to be able to perform at a high level. And sometimes you have to be able to pay those guys. Otherwise, you don't have them. Reworking Mahomes' deal, converting something into a bonus, trying to work some of that money around gets them a little bit closer getting back in that area of comfortability. Now, I think the hard decision has to be made here. Travis Kelce probably played his last down as a Chief. Now, I hate to say that. He's a cornerstone. He's going to go down as one of the best Chiefs of all time, which is saying a lot for that franchise. There's a lot of great players that have come through Kansas City, but Travis Kelce is one of the greats. You will not convince me otherwise. And there is an argument for him out there that he is probably the greatest tight end to ever play the game. He will be a first ballot Hall of Famer as a tight end, but we're not talking about accolades. We're not talking about what he's done. We're talking about where this team is going. They need to reload at tight end. Now, Travis Kelce is more of a pure receiving tight end. Never really been all that involved in run blocking and those sorts of things. Wasn't really needed to. That was not what they asked him for, right? His receiving capabilities allowed the team to have to worry about him, and they couldn't let him run down the field because they did. They got eaten up all the time. That's how the Chiefs offense has operated. Now, there's some names I think that could easily come in to the Kansas City Chiefs if they can find the salary cap to replace Travis Kelce. Kyle Pitts is a free agent. He's probably going to have a little bit of competition for his services. If you watched my Broncos video, we already talked about how Kyle Pitts, I think, could fit in Evan Ingram mold. I think this is another spot that I could see him go if Kansas City can figure out their salary cap to get him. But my sleeper, this is the dream. Finding a way to pry Trey McBride out of Arizona and plug the best tight end in football into an offense that revolves around the play of the tight end, instantaneously puts this team back in position to be Super Bowl contenders, and you can't change my mind. I don't know what the money looks like for that. I don't know what the trade looks like for that. It's probably at least going to be one first-round pick and an additional picker player to get that done. But I think getting Trey McBride into this offense maximizes the window, and you give the rebuilding Arizona Cardinals another tool, another piece to go reload and try to accelerate their rebuild. Win-win for both sides. Can it get done? I'm not sure, but it would maximize the window for Kansas City, getting a player like Trey McBride. The second thing the Kansas City Chiefs got to do is finally say goodbye to Taylor. Just say, hey, thank you for your service. Walk him out. The penalties, the overall tackle play, the overall skill or lack thereof, it's done. You need to get rid of this man. Replace him with a right tackle. I don't care which one you draft, how you get them. He has to go. He is a hindrance on this team. He was a 78th ranked tackle out of 86. It is over. It is done. I'm tired of watching this man legitimately hold this offense back with consistent false start penalties, not lining up on the line of scrimmage because he knows athletically he cannot compete with the average defensive end in the NFL. And he's been trying and living by breaking the rules the entire time, and it is finally catching up to them. Taylor's got to go, and I bet he's not even playing anywhere else in the NFL because he lacks the athletic capability to actually play the tackle position. Once you do that, you got to find some upgrades at defensive tackle specifically to put next to Jones, and defensive end to put on the other side of Karlaftis. Strong safety via the draft. All these positions, these three key positions are all draft focuses. You defensively have to focus on those guys. You have to get those guys. And the only other position to focus on in the draft is running back. Now, if the Trey McBride trade can't happen and you hold on to the 9th overall pick and Love out of Notre Dame is still available, that's your 9th pick. I don't care what anyone says. You draft Jeremiah Love, you put him in the Kansas City offense, and you live and die by whatever that is. If, however, he is not available, Katron Allen out of Penn State, I think, is a Kansas City Chief. He is probably the second best running back on the board, capable of doing things you're hoping to get out of a running back. I like his fit in Kansas City. He did some, he's done some receiving, done some running. I like where that's at. If you can't get Jeremiah Love, Katron Allen is a Kansas City Chief, and you wave goodbye to Pacheco, and Kareem Hunt finally gets out of Kansas City, and you guys have a solid running back. That's how you get back to being who you are, Kansas City. Now, is it possible? Is everything going to go your way? Probably not. Your division is one of the toughest divisions in football right now. 2 of the 4 teams were in the playoffs, and the Raiders just hired Clint Kubiak, who's the offensive coordinator of a Super Bowl team. There's no clear path anymore for you to get back to the Super Bowl. You have massive competition. All the teams in the division are looking to possibly have competent quarterback play. You already had Justin Herbert. He has a good defense now. They're hoping to reload on the offensive line, be better. That's going to be a tough out. But getting back to your roots, getting back to the things that make this team great, focusing on reloading at tight end, focusing on reloading on running back, and getting some players to fill in key positions to upgrade the level of performance you weren't getting from some of these players during the year is key. And if you do that, we'll be talking about Kansas City, maybe not only in the playoffs, but in the Super Bowl once again.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.